Hey, everybody, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Monday, so it's Malfeasance Monday.
What does that
Hey.
word mean? I saw someone put that and said, "Well, I hope I don't have to pronounce that word, and I don't know what the hell it means." So what does that mean?
Keisha, malfeasance means something bad.
Okay.
Listen,
I like
don't put
something
me
bad. You know
don't
I
put me
like
on the
something
spot.
bad.
Shit. It means all right, I'm gonna look it up because now I feel stupid. Dictionary.com. I got that right here on my phone. We're starting off with the bang. We're starting off with the bang. Malfeasance. Okay,
And she knows how to
malfeasance.
spell it. You're doing
Oh, yeah.
great.
All
You're
right.
doing great.
The performance of an act that is legally unjustified, harmful, or contrary to law, especially by a public person or a person in a position of public trust. That doesn't necessarily apply here, but it does apply to when you're trying to do something opposite of the law. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I like it.
malfeasance Monday. If anybody's
I
got a
like
better
it.
suggestion, we'll take it because we
Yeah,
clearly.
just don't ever ask me to pronounce that word or anything because yeah, who knows what's gonna come out of my mouth if I try to say that. I was like, what? I've never heard that word
See,
before in my life.
I would go with misdemeanor Monday, but there's no
Mhm.
misdemeanors here. Everybody's a
They're
felony.
all felonies. Yeah,
Yeah, it'd have to
that's
be Felon
true.
Friday, but
Right.
hmm,
Right, right,
hmm.
right, right, right.
All right. Well, how you doing, Keisha? It's good to see you and your cute hair.
I'm doing great. I was sitting here watching a little bit of a Ghost Whisperer before we got on the mic. The greatest show ever in life. If you haven't
Is
seen
it
it,
is it a show or is it like a documentary type show?
no, it's a TV series.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
actors.
It's Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. Okay, you're throwing it way
Yeah.
back. It's not like a current program. No.
No, but it is like my all-time favorite show ever, 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 ever in life. If you want to
Hmm.
cry and feel good, be a little bit scared, that is the show right there.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I've never even known anybody to watch that show, so I've
Okay,
now met
see,
somebody.
you're always starting shit with me. Always starting shit. There you go. I don't know anyone's ever. It
I
is a
guess it was
wonderful show.
it was on for a few seasons, so people
Like
must have liked
5.
it. Okay, well,
Yeah,
that's a
season
lot.
trash. Trash. Don't even if you go to watch it, don't watch season 5. It's straight up trash. It's just yeah, they did us dirty. I'll say that.
That is so funny.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Is it based on like a real person, I wonder? Kinda like Medium was based on Alison Dubois?
Uh-uh. No.
No.
Mm-mm.
She just
No.
whispers to ghosts and tells him to leave the house or whatever?
No. So these ghosts are still here because they've got unresolved issues.
Right.
So she helps them solve those issues, communicate with their loved ones or whoever they need to communicate with, solve a murder or whatever,
Mhm.
and then she leads them to the light.
Okay, good.
It's gonna
Alright.
walk through the light. Yes.
Alright.
But it's so much more than that. I mean,
Okay. Well, you
that
described
was
it
a
pretty
very
good.
simple version, but it's so much more. Yes. One day you just gotta watch it.
One day when I have lots and lots of viewing time, I will do that. It won't be any time in probably the next, 50 years of my life because I'll never catch up with all the stuff. I will tell you though that my husband's about to go on a trip, and because he, after 23 years of marriage, has trusted my television opinion, of which I do
Uh-huh.
a job, he decided that he really loved The Bear because I had him watch The Bear,
Okay.
and so
Okay.
now he trusts my opinion. So I think I'm getting him onto Succession. So
I didn't watch that one.
I know you didn't, but it's
I've
worth
heard
it.
it's wonderful.
It's really good. So I think I'm gonna get him on. I told him, I was like, while you're traveling, you kind of get going with season 1 and 2, and then when wherever
Mm.
you land when you come back, I'll start that with you. I've already watched it, but I'll jump with
Okay.
you. But I don't want to have to watch all 5 seasons. Yeah, I don't have to.
Well, producer James getting ready to go out of town too.
Hmm.
He's going to India.
Well, really, he goes to some faraway places, man.
Man, and is he being a fucking sap about it?
Oh, of course, he'll be crying the whole time. He's gonna miss Keisha and his
Yeah.
can't wait to
Yeah.
get home
Yes.
to his light and his
Yes.
love and his.
Yes. Yes. And he's so disappointed because on our birthday, he'll be traveling home. He's like, I'm not gonna be
Oh,
there for your birthday. I'm like, you land at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Like,
yeah, you'll make it.
but don't ever tell him. I am getting a little bit sappy as the days get closer.
Oh my god, he's gonna be gone for a long time. 2 weeks.
9 days. Yeah. And guess
9
what I
days.
have to do? I have to do all my own setup to record.
Ooh,
I know.
okay.
So we're gonna have some tutorials and some written instructions in English and Spanish because I never do this shit and I've never taken it upon myself to even learn because I'm just late. I'm lazy. I'm like Mama June. I have a do boy, and James is my do boy. He does my stuff for me,
Yes, right.
which is bad.
Oh,
I
okay.
know.
That affects me directly.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So we're gonna start training tomorrow to
Okay. Well, let me
yeah.
ask you, because he goes to these faraway lands, what is he doing in India?
Uh, like I don't know what he even does, period, in life, day to day. If
Okay.
someone offered me $1 million to describe what he does, I'd be just as broke as I am right now. I have no clue.
Okay.
I know he's going to go meet part of his team that's in India. That part I know,
Okay.
but that's it.
Okay.
That's all I know. Yeah.
All right.
And he's
Because
going to
he
be
went
having
to,
some delicious food.
well, he's going to be looking at those hot Indian guys. I mean, not that
They
he would
hot guys
notice
in
that, but
India.
there are hot
I
guys in
would.
India.
I
I
know.
would.
I know. I know. Hmm.
What part of India is he going to? Any places where our
It's
cast
not a
members
special
are?
place. It's what is it, Mumbai, where he's
Mm-hmm.
going to? So he's
Mm-hmm.
like, he's not. He's like, he wish he were going to like another place in India.
Okay.
But yeah, he goes to cool places. I mean, Spain, Malaysia, all kinds of stuff. Denmark, all the good
Wow.
places. Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. My
Okay.
ghetto ass
Well,
doesn't even have a passport.
okay, Keisha. You're gonna have to fix that. You're gonna have to fix that.
Oh, that because I call myself ghetto.
No, no, no.
Oh, I was like, I'm
No, you're
ghetto
gonna
fabulous.
have to I mean, you're gonna have to fix it. You guys, Keisha thought I just got mad at her for saying something.
I did.
No,
Your
no,
your face. I'm like, oh shit, what I do now? Ingrid, fix it, please, Ingrid.
no, I coughed and I muted, and so then when I came back, I said, "You're gonna have to fix that, like the passport.
Yes.
You gotta get a
Oh
passport."
yeah. Okay. I do. He keeps telling me. He gets mad at me. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, because I mean, once you get one, it I mean, you have to use it. I mean, it's and also it's a whole
True.
process, like, you gotta go do the interview and the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to do any of that shit.
Well, you live in a big city, so it won't be too hard. Like, if you like,
Yeah.
when, in Jackson, Mississippi, where I'm from, they don't have a place there, like, you have to go, like, I think either to New Orleans or, like, there's a couple like, they sometimes
Oh,
there's not
what?
there yeah, there's not customs offices everywhere. So,
Oh
if you're
wow.
not in a city that has one, then you gotta find one. So, you're in Houston, so
Yeah.
you'll be like me, we'll just go I just went down to the I don't know what building I went to, it was DC, and they, like, searched our car before we were allowed to park. So,
What?
it was a big scary, DC building situation wherever we went. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it
Interesting.
was the customs office. They're not taking their joking around up in there. Yeah,
I'm like, are you gonna have to check my weave when I come, like to see
yeah.
what's in my carrying
No,
secrets
they
or weapons?
they put they put, like, the thing under the car with the mirror to look all under your car and then pop your trunk and the whole thing, yeah.
Wow.
I was
I'm
like,
gonna feel like I'm on SWAT in a SWAT
yeah.
episode when I do that.
It's like,
Wow.
this is a
Huh.
lot just to have an interview, and then I had the, kids with me when they were little getting their passports wherever we were going, and so they were, I don't know, like 12 and 14 maybe, and
Mhm.
maybe not even that old, but it was funny because the guy was like, "So have you ever committed any felonies?" And they're both like, "What?"
And it's probably like, well, I've thought about it, but I've not committed one, but I've thought about it.
Define a felony. Yeah.
Right?
Oh, Lord. All right, well, let's get started on this show. You said before we started you did not think it was a great episode, and I don't agree. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it
It
was
was
pretty
just
good.
missing that little sprinkle of Renika. Just a little
Yeah.
sprinkle of Renika, you know? I'm
Little
ready to go
spring
on this bounty hunt. I'm ready to run through the halls of whatever hotel Asante is probably staying at. I mean, I am ready for the duo of Renika and KC. I'm ready.
I am too. I am too. They're
Yes.
gonna go in that Sonesta Suites and mispronounce words and yeah. Yeah. Somebody did write me and said they thought that she when she said air dress that maybe she meant like if somebody drops a pin and tells you they're
No.
I was like, "No,
No.
that's nice
They're
that you
they're
think
giving
that,
her
but
way
no.
too much credit.
No, she didn't mean somebody airdropped her a pin.
No,
She meant
no.
she meant
She meant
address.
address. Yeah,
Yeah, she
yeah,
did. She
yeah,
meant
yeah.
address, but that's okay.
I mean,
We still
but that
love her.
was
We still
nice
want
of
her.
the person who,
I know. They were trying to give her some credit, but that's okay because listen, I posted a TikTok about her. I got a lot of views because I was like, "Wait, we need her."
hey.
Hey. Yeah.
She just dropped a new single. I posted it on my story.
You
Yeah,
did?
Big Diva has a new single out and a new video out. Yeah.
And a video too?
Mhm.
All
Mhm.
right. All right, I'm gonna go check out your Instagram story, Libra Lounge with Keisha
Oh,
to
it's gone. You're gonna have to go on her page now. It was a couple of days ago, but yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess I follow her. It's like Renika Holman or something like that.
No, that's my last name.
Oh.
It's A.
But you're not Renika. What's her
No,
last name?
it's Hayes.
Okay, well, I was close. It started with an H. Oh my
Yeah,
god. All right, we
that
gotta
is as
start.
close
We
as
gotta
you
start
got.
recapping. We get so freaking off track. Okay. All right, here we go. So, guys, if my voice gives out occasionally, just it's early for me, and I did 3 podcasts yesterday, so
Ooh.
I'm appreciating the bunkie that wrote me that said that I need to take a break.
You like Mariah
Okay.
Carey, "I Can't Talk Today," or Celine Dion. They don't talk all day before a performance.
I know. Well, if we're considering this
Unfortunately,
a
you gotta
performance,
talk.
I gotta
Yes.
talk,
Yeah.
I gotta yawn, I gotta do all of it. Okay, let's start with Sharae and Anthony. So now,
Okay.
did you notice her outfit? That so it was like overalls that she had flipped
What?
the other. Did you notice? So when she turned around and stuff, so those pink shorts or whatever, they had like
Yeah.
either that or there was some kind of overlay to the shorts where it
Yeah,
maybe
there's
supposed
an
to.
overlay, there's a flap. Cause you know the
Okay,
new style now with jeans is there's a flap that kinda goes off to the side a little bit?
well, that's stupid.
Yeah, they're making jeans and shorts and all that. Yeah, that's the new thing now.
Okay, well, I thought it was that it was like because it was the front and the back, so I thought
Mhm.
maybe it was supposed to be like an overall and she just like pushed that part down. And I was
Well,
like, either way, it looks bad.
she could use some straps to hold up those siggo bitties a little bit, but,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
it's an interesting outfit. So she's waiting to pick him up and she goes, I've been waiting for 3.5 years, but technically it's 20. Not really. You weren't pining for him since you're 14. Now, come on now.
right, yeah.
He gets
You had
out
a
of the
whole
van.
human.
Yeah, that's right. You sure did.
Yeah.
So he gets out of the van. They tunk it down, and he grabs her ass, and she straddles him. And then I just said, "What's the deal with the overalls with the bib turned down?"
Well,
So
what's the deal with him coming out of the van looking like the guy from What's Happening Now? I don't know if you remember that show, and he's got that same haircut, those thick ass black glasses, just total Poindexter right there. I'm like, well,
well, yeah,
that's
look
a
like
nerdy
Urkel.
looking guy.
Yeah,
He really
yeah.
did, yeah.
But you have to think he's been in there 6 years, so his glasses have gone out of style. You know.
Most definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So then she gives him a phone and then gives
Hmm.
him his mom's chicken. She's like, "Your mom made this for you." He goes, "I don't want that." And she goes, "But she made it for you." He goes, "I don't want that. I want some real food like in a restaurant." She goes, "All right."
I wonder, does
Then
his mom not cook well? Because usually they can't wait to get something that's home cooked. But
I
he was
know.
like, denied, denied.
No, he was like, "I don't even want to smell it. I don't want to look at it. Keep the lid on it." Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think she wants to be on camera to show that she did try to give it to him.
That is
She didn't
true.
want mom to get mad at her.
Right.
So she gives him the itinerary and he's like, this is like a PO. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And she goes, well, I just like a schedule. And he goes, it sounds like a GPS and an ankle monitor to me, but sure, it's fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we didn't quite realize until we started going here how serious she is about the schedule.
She's real serious about that schedule. Yes,
Real,
she
real
is.
serious.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So he says he's been deprived of sex for 7 years. And that's like the
Hmm.
first thing he wants to do. He also
Right.
tells us that he chose the streets when he was young. He had a single mom and he had no father figure. So he chose the streets, but he wouldn't change it because that's what made him who he is today. And he's never going back. I'm like, seems like you would have changed something, but I guess not.
And
So,
you like who you are today, getting out of a prison van to a slightly scary woman with a whole paper itinerary and some baked chicken and Tupperware. I mean,
yes. He
Yeah,
does.
okay, alright.
He's just got that male confidence. He
He
really
does.
does.
He does.
He's got that confidence of, like,
Yeah,
"I
I
deserve
agree.
all of this." Yeah.
Yeah.
So, she says, "I know you're hungry." And he says, "Nah, I just wanna fuck." And she goes, "Ah, stop." And then she goes, "If you read the itinerary, you'll see where we have it scheduled."
Yeah.
So her alarm goes off, 11 a.m., "Feed Anthony."
Yeah. She is her itinerary on her phone alarms are me trying to get up in the morning time. It's like
Be trying to get up this morning when I didn't. Yeah, and I
yeah,
was
it's like
15 minutes late for
9:15,
this. Yeah.
9:30, yeah. She's for real.
Mm. So so she goes, "Well, we're a little behind schedule because this says
Mhm.
feed you, but you didn't eat the chicken, so I don't know." And he goes, "Listen," and she goes, "What was the worst thing about being in prison?" And he goes, "The schedule, the everyday being scheduled. I'm just like a go with the flow kind of guy, but I guess now I have to go with your flow." And then she was like, "Ah, what do you mean? Is that a turnoff?" And he goes, "Yeah, it
It would
is."
be to anyone, like, "Are you serious right now?" Especially
Yeah,
someone who just got out of prison. Like,
like 10
give him
minutes
at least a
ago.
day. Yeah, give him
Yeah.
at least a day of freedom to do whatever he wants, but she's right on it.
So they're behind schedule, so they go pick up some food, looks like Popeyes, and,
Mhm.
he immediately is like, "I don't like mayonnaise. I don't like pickles." She's like, "Well, you should have asked for it without it." He's like, "I didn't know," you know?
Well,
So
he
his
doesn't know about a Popeye sandwich. I mean, that's only been around for like a year and a half, right?
You're so
That's
right.
new.
You're
Yeah, he has
so
no clue about a
you're s
Popeyes chicken sandwich.
you're right because they just
Yep.
introduced that recently.
He doesn't even know that the spicy version is the better version than it's better than the original. They taste totally different. Yeah.
Oh, see, now
Mhm.
my son loves that Popeyes chicken sandwich, but,
Well,
I
good.
don't think he's ever tried spicy. He's like me, he's a little
Mm-mm.
wimpy when it comes to the spice.
Oh, spicy one's good.
Dave would probably like it. So, his mom calls, and he's like, "Hey, mom, what's
How
up?
do- he
How's it
doesn't get
going?"
excited about anything. Like
Uh-uh.
even when she was like giving him an iPhone, thank you. They like
Mhm.
he's just really chill.
Yeah, and so he goes, "Yeah, I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Alright, mhm." The alarm goes off, 1 p.m. haircut. She goes, "We're running a little late for our next appointment." So,
He needs that haircut bad.
see, I thought his hair looked fine. I didn't know.
It did not. It did
But
not.
once he got it
No.
cut, I didn't like those angles in the front that they did.
Wait, that's the style now that you gotta
Yeah.
get it all angled in the front. I'm sure there's a technical term for that, but I don't know what it is. But yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
didn't like it.
like
It
it's
looks
the boys are taking it very seriously right now.
yeah,
Yeah.
I said I didn't like that angle in the front. It looked like, Valentine from 90 Day Caribbean Life. It looked like he
No,
had that square angle on the front.
he
Yeah.
did, and also a toupee. Yeah.
Right, but
Uh-huh.
even when he took the toupee off, he still had that square working, even though it was real shaved down because there was no hair there.
He
Yeah.
struggled. He
He
struggled in the hair
struggled.
department, most definitely.
He looks so much better with that toupee off. So, all right. So they get Popeyes. His mom calls, 1 p.m. haircut. So then she shows him his resume that she's put together. And he's like, wow, this is actually really cool. And, she's like, I work in HR. So she put together this resume. Now, how are they explaining on this resume this 7 year
Mhm.
absence of a job? And how are they going to explain that, Keisha?
Um, he was pregnant for the first year. He traveled overseas, went on a sabbatical or something like that. I
Uh
don't
huh.
know.
See,
There
seems like something like that you'd have to prove. But
depends
he's
on
like,
where
this
you're trying
looks
to get a job at.
Yeah, that's true. So he says he's just gonna go to school and he's gonna grind and he's gonna work. And so he's going to go to culinary school.
Mhm.
And he says he really wants his dream is to have a food truck. But he knows all of that takes money. Yes, it takes a lot of money to get a food
Yeah.
truck and to keep it up and everything. And
Yes.
but he's gonna work really hard towards it, and his truck will be on the road next year.
I
What?
mean,
Okay.
okay.
Maybe it
So bear
will,
with
but
me.
that seems like a lot of money, and I don't know where you're getting it.
I mean, having a girlfriend in HR may help.
Yes,
Maybe he's got a little bit of. I think he's got some money stashed away because if you remember, whenever she had the $500, the 500 ones, she said it was from his money. So
that's
maybe
right.
he's got some money stashed away. Remember what I always say: Do not ever date a drug dealer who's coming out of prison unless he's got a stash of money somewhere or it's not worth your time. Nope, 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 nope. So I'm thinking he's got some money put away. But I think what he's saying is achievable, maybe not within a year, but achievable. He wants to go to
Yeah,
culinary school and get a food truck.
right, but I understand he's going to culinary school, which costs money, which
Right.
assumes he maybe is gonna work a part-time job to probably pay
Mm-hmm.
for that. So then how's he
Mm-hmm.
getting like a $50,000 at least $50,000 food truck on the road by next year? Listen,
Probably.
I'm not here to shit on his dreams. Maybe it's
Because you know
maybe
what? I'm about to shit on you for a second.
yeah.
It's a lot better dream than becoming a rapper who sells tennis shoes on Temu, like Montana Mills.
How dare you bring up
Mhm.
Timu and my
Mhm.
boyfriend in the
Mhm.
same
Mhm. Mhm.
sentence?
Mhm. 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 Mhm.
Well, we're just
I'm
gonna
gonna
see
go.
how good he's doing in December when he comes back on my
I
screen.
guess we are. I'm with you, Anthony. I think your dream is quite achievable.
Yeah. You like a
Yes.
nerd, we know it. All right.
Oh, whatever.
So, they're driving around because 'cause they're going back to the old neighborhood there in
Mhm.
Schenectady to go to his old barber, and he's like, babe, be careful, like, there's police over there." She was like, "I'm
Yeah.
not doing anything, I'm just driving the speed limit." And then they go to the barber, and the barber, Joe, he was like, "Oh, man, what does it feel like to be out?" And he goes, "Oh, yeah, it doesn't look the same, and I really didn't wanna come over here, and I really don't wanna come over here anymore unless I'm getting my hair
Right.
cut." And
Yeah.
Joe's like, "Yeah, a lot of people don't wanna come over here anymore unless they're getting their hair cut."
Mhm.
And he tells Joe that 7 years in made him a believer, and he really needed it. He's never going back. And outside, they talk to Joe, and Joe says, "Yeah, I could always tell he wasn't doing the right thing. I didn't know what he was doing, but he had a lot of money and he didn't have a job. But I believe in him, and I believe him when he says he's going to do the right thing and he's going to achieve his goal." So you and Joe are
I
the
hope
same.
so. I hope.
Talking to Eddie says that Joe is the last person who cut his hair before he went to prison.
Mhm.
And he also, I skipped, I didn't mean to. He said that he really appreciates what Sharae is doing for him. And she is a big
Mhm.
asset to his life. So that's
Right.
good. So he's not on that plan of like banging six girls, right when he gets out.
Yeah, he seems
So,
just really chill and really mellow. And I gotta say, I loved it when Sharae had her hair porn Beyonce on stage moment, where she walks in front of the fan and it blows her hair back into the side and to the front a little bit. Like I want to have that happen. Like I want to have hair porn and that Beyonce on stage moment with the hair. I loved it. I'm like, oh, you go, girl.
well, let me tell you how you do it. You just set up a big box fan in your house, point it up towards your face, and walk by it and video it. There you
Mary
go.
Pay, now you know damn well I would do that, and my hair would be stuck in my lip gloss, and I wouldn't be able to see. They'd be covering up my glasses, and I would trip over the box fan. You know me.
Yeah, I guess you can't wear lip gloss in that situation.
I guess
Yeah.
not. No.
No.
Mm-mm. I
How does
no.
Beyonce do it? She just has to go with like a flat lipstick.
I mean, it's Beyonce, so who knows how much she probably has a gloss that just is not sticky, just made just
Right.
for her.
That's probably
So
true.
yeah, yeah.
That's right. So 2 p.m. alarm.
Mm,
Leave for the hotel. So she's like, well, we're behind schedule on that. So she goes and sits in the car because she's really concerned that the schedule is, running maybe 20 to 30 minutes behind. Now, here's the question. Since she didn't know exactly what time he was getting out of that van,
hmm.
that's why they're behind, I think, because I think probably
Probably
this
so.
would have been okay.
And it's not way off schedule like you said. It's only off schedule by like 20, 30 minutes. So
Yeah, yeah.
but she's
So
probably silently freaking out.
she needs to go when she sits in the car and just adjust all those alarms down a little bit so that it doesn't
Mhm.
throw her into a complete OCD tizzy.
Yeah.
So she says, "I'm going to go sit in the car and wait for you now." So Anthony tells Joe, "Yeah, that's my girl. She's done a lot for me, and she's throwing me a party now. I'm not big into a party or anything, but she's
We
my
could
go-to."
tell.
Yeah, we can tell you're not the party
Yeah.
type.
Yeah.
He says, "She's my go-to. I can trust her." And he's like, "Well, that's good. That's great." So Joe likes her
Mhm.
too. So in her talking head, she goes, "Yeah, the party's tomorrow. And I know it's not a great idea that I invited my ex Richard to the party, but I want to see his expression when he sees me and Anthony enjoying ourselves."
Why the fuck do you care what he why are you trying to make this dude jealous?
Yeah, it's been a
I
long
I don't
time.
understand. Like what why? Why is he even on your mind enough to want to make him feel jealous about you
I
being
don't
with
know.
someone?
I
That's
don't know.
concerning to me. That's a red flag.
It's
It's a red
weird
flag.
that she's, like, plotting it in that way, like
Yeah.
yeah.
Wants to
She'd just
make
be
him
like
jealous.
she's like, "I" you just, like, drop the kid off, and then you can say, "Hey," but then you got to go. You gotta go.
Yeah, even her
Yeah.
son told her that was a bad idea.
I know, and
Yet
he's like 10.
yet here we are. She's gonna do it. I'm like, oh man. I mean, that could possibly start a fight.
I know, we don't want that, we don't want Anthony going back to prison.
Yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
All right, let's move on to Chelsea and Mikey. Um,
Okay.
all right, so they're in the car and he's signing and he's saying like no more lockup. He's doing like his basic signing and he says he's going to
Mhm.
get a job, he's going to work, he's going to build they're going to build their family, he's going to do good. He's got the motivation to do right things with Chelsea by his side and he's not going to let the past affect who he is or what he is, okay? So
Mhm.
I like it. So far he's got a great attitude. So Trevor calls the son, and I do love that she puts the phone like directly in front of where she's driving, so she can sign and also drive and look at it.
Yeah,
It's like,
I don't want to be on the road when Chelsea's on the road because she does not pay enough attention to the road. Like she's doing everything else. I mean, probably she's driving with probably her knees
oh
sometimes.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, I don't feel safe.
I love that Trevor is perfect at signing though, and
Well, yeah,
even while he's talking to Mikey, he's perfectly
yeah,
signing.
and he's cute.
He is real
He's a
cute,
cute little boy. Yeah.
and I like him. Mikey's like, "Hey man, your hair looks great." He's like,
Hmm.
"Yeah, it was cute." So she says, "Did you hear my voice when I talked?" She's saying this to
Hmm.
Mikey. And she goes, "I know it sounds weird." And he goes, "No." She says, "The only time she uses her voice is with her kids or her dad because she's very insecure about it. But, she feels secure with him."
And she has to do it with her dad because her dad doesn't fucking understand sign language. So
Nope,
she has to use her voice.
has to. So he says, "I'm so happy to see my sisters. Last time I was there at the house, I got arrested. And
Mm.
when they were taking me out, my mom said, 'I love you, son.' And then they took me away." He said his mom only passed away a few weeks ago.
I know, I know, I know, I
That's
know.
terrible. I was thinking maybe it was like
Yes.
6 months or something, but no, it's only 8 and they
No.
wouldn't let him out early for that?
I know. Which is
Ah,
weird considering that he was about to get out.
yeah,
You think they
yeah.
would have approved that, but yeah, yeah. I don't like being sad when we're watching this show, but I was sad
I
during
was
this
sad about
segment.
I was sad too.
Yeah.
And he cries and he says it's so tough because he has so
Mhm.
much guilt for not being there to help with his mom or be the big brother for his sisters, and he's really hoping his sisters will be able to forgive him.
Right.
So
Yeah. That's
they
tough.
draw. It's rough. So then again, he did do it to himself. So let's don't. Okay.
True. True that.
So they drive up, and his sister Courtney comes out, and they hug, and it's really sweet. And he's crying, and he's saying he's so sorry to her. And he says when his mom died, Chelsea went to the funeral and stayed with the family and mourned with the family. And at that point, he knew this is it. She's my life partner,
Right.
right?
Well, the fact that she went to that house, that scary ass looking house on that land, I mean, every horror film has that house in it.
It didn't look scary when she went to visit it during the daytime that
It
time.
No, but it looked scary when it was all misty and a little bit dark out there. I was like, "Oh, I've seen this before. I know how this ends." Like,
And
yeah.
everything inside is really dark,
And it was
really
so much
dark.
stuff in there.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
lot.
yeah. So, all right, then his sister, so we Courtney, he talked to her. So then his sister Amanda walks in and she's
Mm,
crying. And Chelsea says, she never had sisters, so they feel like her sisters. They've treated her like family, and she really loves them. And Amanda cries and tells Mikey, Mom would be so happy to see you. It's
mhm.
her baby boy, and she would want you to know that she's really proud of you and that she loves you and all that. The whole thing is just heartbreaking, right?
Yeah, you know what's also heartbreaking is that the eyebrows between all 3 women. They all can use a visit to a microblader because I couldn't take my eyes off the eyebrows. I'm like, "Oh, boy.
I didn't
Okay." That
notice the sisters but Chelsea's are very drawn on.
Yeah, the sisters were quite thin and misshapen.
Okay.
Yes.
All
Yeah.
right.
They weren't
Uh,
good. They weren't good.
I'm going to get my eyebrows dyed this week because they're looking a
Oh, you
little
get them dyed?
albino-ish. I get them dyed, yeah.
They don't
I
look light.
I have to get them dyed because, like, my hair is, like, clear. It's like, you remember that movie Powder with the albino? Yeah, that's what I look like.
Yeah.
So I have to get them dyed. Yeah.
That's funny.
I get my
Ain't no
eyelashes dyed
powder.
too because 'cause they're also clear.
Really?
Uh-huh. I've been getting my eyelashes
Wow.
dyed since, like, 10th grade. Yeah,
How
like, that
often do you have to get them dyed?
in the summer, I probably excuse me, in the summer, I probably get them done, like, every 5 weeks, like, every
Oh,
month
wow.
about because,
Okay.
they're fading out more and stuff, but in the winter, I probably go, like, every 2 months. Um, but
Okay.
you just have to wear a ton less mascara because 'cause I'm not trying to, like, stack so much on to make them look dark because
Right.
they go during the pandemic, it was a real blonde red eyelash situation, no eyebrows going on in this house. It was not cute. Not
During
cute.
the pandemic, I hunted down my eyelash girl, and I was like, "I will pay you double. I don't care if we have to meet in an alley. I have no eyelashes and my nails are gone." So she let me come to her house and she did them. I was going nowhere, but I'm like, "I don't know myself like this." Like, I felt like an alien version of myself. So,
I
yeah.
know. I
Yeah.
had, the girl that cuts our whole the lady, the woman that cuts our whole family's hair, who I love, who I've gotta get on the podcast because she has a notebook full of hairdresser stories that people have told her.
Ooh.
I gotta get her on here. Anyway, I love her, and she came to the house,
Mhm.
and we opened all the doors and windows,
Yeah. Yeah.
and, like, I told, like, a couple of close friends, and they came over, and they sat on a bar stool, like, in
Mhm.
front of the, mirror that's like the powder room with all the doors and windows open, and we had masks on, and
Yeah.
she cut her hair. It was
You
great.
gotta do what you gotta do.
It
I'm
was
sorry.
great. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
a sitch. So, all right, so now we go to the kind of the creepier part of this episode.
Yeah.
They go upstairs to look at Mom's room, and
Mhm.
so they have obviously put Mom, like, in the attic or in the, Justine room. Remember Justine, the
Yes.
Montana Mills? She let the kids stay
Yes.
downstairs. She had that upstairs room.
Mhm. Mhm.
Now the bed is covered in some of Mom's stuff. I don't know if this is stuff they wanted him to look at or what.
I guess so because I'm like he's gonna be sleeping in the bed. Why is it covered? But I think it's stuff for him to go through.
Yeah, yeah. So they go, "We'll clean it off so you guys can sleep in here." And he says to Chelsea, he's like, "That's great. Are you okay with that?" And she just gives him a look like, no,
No.
mm-mm."
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
And I was glad she stood up for herself in this situation.
I was surprised that she stood up because I thought she was gonna cave in, and she
Yeah,
totally did not. And I was right there. I mean, did the lady die up there?
I don't know. I don't know because we don't know
It's
how
just
she died or if it was sudden or
no,
what. Yeah.
no.
So, in her talking head, she goes, "I've never slept in a boyfriend's parents' bed, and the woman recently passed. It's
Yeah.
her bed. It's too
Mhm.
weird. It's too weird."
Mhm. Yeah.
So they lay on the bed. He looks at this returned letter that was to him from his mom, and it's a birthday card for his 30th birthday.
Ugh.
And he cries, and it's too much because now he's 32. So that was like 2-year old card that she like held on to. Um,
Ugh.
and she's like, "I understand, my mom died too." And so she says, "Listen, I want to leave. Like, I don't like staying in other people's houses." And
Right.
he's like, I think we should stay here. Like, they think we're going to stay here." And she's like,
Right.
"I don't want to do this. Like, I feel very uncomfortable." So he's like, "Why are you going to be so tough about this? Can
Mhm.
you just try it for one night?" And she goes, "No,
No.
uh-uh,
Mm-mm. No.
no,
No, no, no, no. Not happening. I
no,
don't blame her.
I don't either." So he
Mm-mm.
goes, "You just want to go to the hotel?" And she says, "Yeah." So he agrees. So they go down and he tells his sisters, and this was nice because he didn't blame it on
Yes, it
her.
was.
Yeah.
Yes. I like
He's
that
like,
about him.
he goes, "I'm just not ready. I'm not ready to stay
Yeah.
up there." And they say they understand, of course. And
Yes.
they get in the car, and she's like, "I just love your sister so much." And he's like, "They love you too." And they're both of them are like, "This was the best day ever. It was the best day ever." And they're excited to be together forever and start their family. And so he's like, "I'm ready to get to the hotel and be intimate. Like, it's been 4 years. So that's the first page in my book. Like, I can't wait."
Well,
And
shit's about to go real far left when they get into that hotel room because she ain't planning on doing anything for like 4 to 6 months.
And she has not alerted him that
I
she's not comfortable with
know.
this yet, you know?
Why has she not told him? She should have told him while he was still locked up. Look,
Yeah, just
I
so he
know
has
this
the
is what you're gonna want. Yeah.
yeah,
The
has the
expectation.
expectation. Yeah. And she can explain why. But
Yeah.
I think she said last episode she didn't want to tell him that she had all this past trauma. She was afraid that would make him run from her, but it seems to me it would make him have more empathy to her, right?
You think? Yeah. Yeah, this is gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
A big problem.
So he tells the production, okay, y'all don't need to come in here with us. It's the end of the
Yeah.
road. And they keep following him. And he's like, no, I'm serious. Turn around.
Yeah.
You're not, because
And
I mean,
she doesn't know what he's saying because his back is turned to her. So she's
you're
kind
right.
of looking like what's going I assume she could kind of tell by his hand movements he was telling them to stop. But I'm thinking she wants them to come all the way in the room with them and stay the night in there with them. So she does not have to
Yeah.
deal with him trying to get some.
I know. So she talks to production and she goes, I don't know. Like, we're going to this hotel. Like, I think I'm going to have an anxiety attack. Like, I'm just going to be like frozen in the corner of the bed, waiting for him to fall
Oh.
asleep. I go, girl, that's not going to work. He can still see you. Yeah.
No, and he's gonna stay up in more ways than one. I don't think there's all the way to the other side of the bed. I mean, they should have just got 2 rooms if that's the case.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what happens the next day. I will be interested. So, but I got to
I
tell
think she's
you,
gonna cave in.
after meeting him and seeing them together and stuff, I have a better feeling about them than I
I do
did
too.
before.
I do
Yeah,
too. Yeah.
it's hard for me to
Especially when he
say.
did the sister thing where he took the blame for them not staying. I'm
Yeah,
like, okay, he's a good guy, despite
yeah,
being a felon and, robberies and all that kind of stuff. But
right,
there's hope.
right.
There's
There's
hope.
hope, but he
Yeah.
had that stroke, and then his mom died, and maybe he got,
And he's going deaf.
maybe he found Jesus in prison. I don't know. Maybe he did.
Maybe he
Maybe
found sign language in prison.
I
That's for
know,
sure. Yeah.
but that's
And he's
love.
pretty good at it.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Yeah.
He's better than her fucking friend who just uses the 2 fingers up and down, left and right to sign.
Oh my
Beth, is
god,
that her name, Beth? Like, Beth,
Beth.
you ain't fooling nobody but the blind because
It's
everyone
so
else can
funny.
see you're not signing.
Oh god, that's funny. Hey y'all. I do love to cover drama and I love to talk about it on this podcast, but a place that you don't want drama is your kitchen table at dinner time or lunchtime. That's why I love Little Spoon. I've told you guys that I so wish Little Spoon was around when my kids were little. It would have saved me so much heartache. Little Spoon is the one-stop shop for healthy, easy mealtime and snack time for your baby, toddler, and your big kid, and it's delivered right to your door. That's right, you can have Little Spoon in your life for years, making the mealtime healthy, tasty, and easy from the little bitty babies all the way up to the big kids. Little Spoon delivers. They have the baby blends, the biteables, the plates. They have lunchers. You have to think about like old school favorites with the new school standards. Brand new lunchers are healthier and they're build it yourself lunches, flavors and imaginative build it yourself meals that your big kid will love, like easy cheesy pizza, yum. Chicken dunkers, yum. Chicken nacho dips, yum. All made junk free and have 10 grams of protein, which is super important, as you know, on those busy school days. They also have some new things in their snacks. They have dipsters. You guys, nobody loves a dip more than me. They have these new offerings, brownie batter plus cookies. Oh my gosh, so good. Confetti cake and pretzels. They have these veggie loops, fruit rippers, oat bakes, and then the smoothies. Yum. So, like I said, sweet baby James, my nephew's son, tried so many of these things. He loved everything he tried. They were so happy because it came right to the door. That's great for grandma, which in this case is my sister, and great for parents as well. So make this year's chaos a little more manageable with time-saving, delicious, and healthy meals and snacks your kids will love. Go to littlespoon.com/pinkshade and enter our code pinkshade at checkout to get 30% off your first Little Spoon order. That's littlespoon.com/pinkshade and enter our code pinkshade and you'll get 30% off at checkout. All right, so next we are with Andy and Brittney. Now,
Oh,
look,
man.
I am agreeing with what you said last week is that she's being a complete asshole, right?
Mhm.
But
There's no but.
he's bugging too. He's bugging. He's also
Oh,
bugging.
come on. No.
No? Mm,
No. No, 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 no. No, he's not.
all right.
I think that He doesn't have enough. She's assuming he's got all this money for these hotel rooms. Number one,
Uh-huh.
he's trying to go with their plan. I,
Mhm.
I'm, I may throw up a little bit. Uh, Team Andy on this one. She's
Okay.
a bitch.
She's pretty bitchy. I gotta say, she's pretty bitchy. But I mean, do you think that like once she saw him in person, she's like, not what I thought? But I mean,
She's already seen him in person.
well,
He
that's true.
visited her at prison. She knew exactly what she was getting into.
Okay,
She
you're right.
knew he was a Patrick Star side double. Okay?
That's a SpongeBob reference. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
She knew what she was getting into. So there was no surprises.
Okay, you're right.
None.
All right. All right. Let's get into it. So, it's that the next morning, whatever. So he's knocking on her door. He's
Mhm.
got coffee. He went to get her
Mhm.
coffee, and he's knocking
Mhm.
on the door, and she's like, "Ugh."
Ugh.
And
Yeah.
he goes, "Sorry, I forgot my key, and also I don't have any hands free because I brought you coffee. Here's some coffee." And she goes, "Fine." And he goes, "Well, what's going on?" She goes, "Well, Gracie and I were arguing, and I just need to stay here and make time for her. And everything right now is awkward and overwhelming for me. Like I just got out, and everything is like too much." So that we understand, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And she goes, "And it's awkward and overwhelming for me. I have to assume it's awkward and overwhelming for Gracie too." And he goes,
Mhm.
"Well, let me give you my opinion, even though you didn't ask for it." And she gives him a look like, "I will fucking shank you. I will
Yes,
throw
she
hot
did.
coffee right on your face." She looked at him, she goes,
Mhm.
"Uh-huh."
Mhm.
So he
Yeah.
goes, "Listen, all this back and forth and stuff with Gracie, this is not good for you. Now, you and
Mhm.
I made certain plans, and I have been supportive, and we have adjusted everything we've done. And in my opinion, we probably should have just gone home last night. And
Mhm.
I feel like you probably just got some guilt now, and I feel like we should go home. Like, okay, because like she left, you know. And
Mhm.
the whole point of this now, and these are your words. These are your words. You wanted to change people, places, and things, right?"
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
she looks at him, glares at him like, "Are you fucking done? Because it's on." She goes, "Well, that didn't mean my kids." And she says, "You're supposed to be my rock and be like, 'How can I help you?' And sit down and say, 'How can I help you, Brittany?' And you know, my kids are the most important thing to me. And I told you this, and I told you this is who I am from the get go." I was
Mhm.
like, "Okay." So, in her talking head, she goes, "Never did I think he would ask me to run away to Rome and abandon my child. And he's a girl dad. Huh." And then she says, "I'm not leaving anything to the choice of a man."
And I get that.
Okay,
Okay.
I get that part for
I get
sure.
that part. She's not a very good communicator as
Right.
far as it goes with between she and Andy. She's making all these decisions and getting upset and being emotional, but it's like when he comes in, he's supposed to know automatically what the fuck's going on in her head. He has
Right.
no clue. Every time he comes up, she's upset. He doesn't know what it's about. She's trying to make all these plans, not including him because they did make plans.
Right.
It's just not on an itinerary like with Sharae, but they did
Right.
make plans.
Right.
And he's just going along with what she said. And fuck, he's dragging his kid along for all of this. Does Barry not have school? Like, does Annie not have a job to get back to?
Right.
She's
That's what
not
I'm
thinking
wondering.
about any of. She should have just said, "Look, I need to be here now. I need to stay with the relative for a couple of days and
Right.
then come back and get me. Let me
Right.
things are spinning right now with me and my kid." And I think he would understand that a little bit more.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think if she said like, "Hey, why don't you just take me over to, my Aunt Susie's house,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna get Gracie to meet me over there, and we're gonna spend a couple days working it out, and then why don't you
right.
come back and get me on Wednesday or
Right.
Thursday if it's better for you? Because I don't got a job, I got nowhere to go. So you just
Yeah.
come back and get me what works for you." But I think he thinks if I do that, I'm never gonna see her again, you know?
And I don't blame him for thinking that, but she literally wants him to stay there and wait. He already waited for you for 2 hours outside that restaurant during a birthday party.
I
Okay?
know. That was
Like,
awful.
that was awful. And she's expecting for him to do that again and again and again. Anytime she changes her plans, she thinks he's just supposed to sit there. Andy, this is what I would do. I would take my loot $500. I take that iPhone, and I would say, you know what? Peace out. You get with me when you're ready for all these things. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, Andy's pathetic, and he's not going to do that.
So in his talking head, he's like, now, not to disparage Gracie, but there are
Mm-hmm.
certain ways to deal with things. Now, I've
Mm-hmm.
been packed up to go to Rome. And
Mm-hmm.
she goes, well, I am waiting here for Gracie, and I'll let you know where you play a part in my life.
See, that's too much. That's when he should have just fucked this. There's other felons in the system who I can pen pal with. You are not the one. Like, she's an asshole. I'm sorry.
When she says, I'm waiting here for Gracie, and I'll just let you know where you play a part in my
Yeah.
life, he
Yeah.
he goes, well, I'm shell shocked. And he says,
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. And she kind of giggles. She goes,
Yeah. Yeah. She's mean.
she's mean and she's got that like big smile, and then she's gonna cut you. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, bitch, you just got out of prison. All you have is $500, a couple of t-shirts, and an iPhone to your name.
Hmm.
Like,
Thank
stop.
God. Thank God he didn't give her the 1200.
No
Um,
shit.
so in the talking head, she goes, I'm just disgusted. And maybe his kids were right about him. And, I've been a terrible parent, but what his kids said about him is the most self centered, fucked up thing I've ever heard in my life. Really?
What? Because being a meth head and leaving your children is not bad?
I was
She's
like,
Delulu.
now, when she said that, I was like, now come on now. You've been
Yeah.
in prison for
Yeah.
being a meth head, and you're saying
Yeah.
he's a bad parent because, yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, listen, we don't really know the whole story there, but
No.
obviously he wasn't a great dad, but he was also
Yeah.
had a meth head wife who left him, and he was trying to
Yeah.
raise these kids, and whatever.
On his own, yeah. Mhm.
But for her to say that, wow, she's really
Like I
something.
said,
She's
she's
really
something
something.
else. Yeah. Now, I normally hope that Andy kind of trips and falls so I can laugh. Now I hope
Yeah.
she trips and falls so I can laugh at her and point.
She says, well, I don't want you and Barry just hanging around stuck waiting. Like, I get it, but I'm not just going to leave. I'm just not going to leave her. And so he goes, okay, cool. And she goes, cool. What do you mean? And
Yeah.
he goes, okay, cool. We won't stick around. And she laughs again.
And she got pissed off.
And then she got pissed off.
Yeah.
And he goes, let's play a role reversal game. If I was you and you was me. And she
Mhm.
goes, okay. I would have said, it's okay, Andy. I understand. And whatever space you and Barry need, I'll just wait outside because I know you have bridges to mend.
No.
And he goes, uh huh. Okay. Well, we're just different people, and that's okay. And she
Yeah.
goes, that's right. Your way of thinking is self absorbed and self motivated.
Who the fuck does she think she
This is
is?
crazy. This is
It
crazy.
really is. Yeah. Yeah. I
She's purposefully trying to be awful to him so he leaves.
Yeah. She's
And then
being very she's being mean.
she's being very mean. And so um she goes, so in her talking head, she goes, the Andy I met in prison was his best, doing his best effort to be what I wanted him to be, but that's not who he is. And I don't think I need to spend any more time with him.
Bitch, I think he's thinking the same goddamn thing about
Uh
you.
huh. Uh huh. So he goes, all right, well, I'm not going to argue. It is what it is. And he walks out.
Yeah.
So he goes outside and calls junior policeman, JR.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, I don't know what happened. Like, I picked her up and everything was fine. But it's all of a sudden she like flipped a switch. Like, I don't know, like Jekyll
Yeah.
and Hyde or something, like real drastic.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
JR goes, oh, really? What's she doing now? He goes, oh, she's in the room. Now, while he's talking to JR, you see
Mhm.
her like a cartoon. Dink, 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 like
Yep.
crawling, like ding, 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 like little two little feet, like scurrying behind him
Yeah.
with her
Mhm.
whole
Didn't even tell
suitcase.
her didn't even say bye to this man.
The whole suitcase she's got with her.
Yeah.
She got that teddy bear, she got that $500, she got those 4 T-shirts
And
and
she's
her
out.
phone, and she's out.
Yep.
So, she's talking to production, and she's like, while she's like packing up her bag, and she goes, he had no intention of helping me reunite with my children. He has control issues, of course, because he's a cop. I mean, why would a cop be looking online at caged ladies? Why wouldn't he be looking for somebody stable who doesn't have all these issues to work through? I mean,
Um
now you're blaming him for loving you?
yeah, she got a
She
lot of
goes,
issues.
did I grow a relationship and a friendship with him to try to see where it would go? Yes. But now he's being a pushy dickhead.
And he's so
S
not.
and
He's really not.
so she looks at her phone after she packs all her shit up and goes, "Oh, she's here." And then she ding, 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 walks
Yeah.
behind Annie, gets in the car. So she gets in the car, drives off with Gracie, and he tells JR, "Wait a minute, she just left." And JR goes, "Right now?" He goes, "Yeah, she just got in the car." He goes, "I don't know. Maybe she's trying to appease Gracie. I don't know. She's got a new phone and $500." And JR is like, "Man."
Hello,
So he goes,
Verizon. I need for you to disconnect the line.
so he goes in to talk to Barry. And he goes, yeah, everything's fine. Everything's good. Yeah, uh-huh. She just left with Gracie. Uh-huh.
Mhm.
And we're just in a holding pattern for now. For now, we're in a holding pattern." And Barry goes, "Huh, really?" Barry is
Yeah,
17 years old in that hotel
I
room
know.
by himself, living his best
Yeah.
life. He doesn't care.
Yes,
He's like,
yes, yes,
whatever.
yes. He's about to go get in the pool.
Yeah, he's like, whatever. So he tells Barry, he goes, "I'm just so like invested in this. And I don't mean like financially, I mean like mentally and emotionally invested in this." And Barry goes, "What if she don't come back?" And he goes, yeah, I'm not sure. So I'm gonna go over there and pack the room up. So we'll just be ready when she gets back." So he goes to the other room to pack up. I was like, what do you need to pack up? You're only there
I
one night.
know. Right.
So Barry calls his sister Destiny and goes, "Gotta tell you something. You may have been right. You may have been right." And
That
Destiny
was the
goes, "What
equivalent of
happened?"
him goes, "Ooh, I got all the tea for you, girl. Destiny, sit down. Go get Allie. I got to tell y'all this shit." He just couldn't wait
Oh,
to call.
it's so funny. So he's talking to her and he goes, yeah, I don't know. So she left and she took the money and the phone and she went with her daughter and all this. So Destiny goes, "So in conclusion, he got played."
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Barry goes, "I don't know. But it looks like next week she's back." So, all
Yeah.
right, now let's go to poor, sad Joynomi and Red. Just
Is it bad
Joynomi.
that she like irritates me?
She irritates me too because she's just dumb as a
Okay,
box of
good.
rocks.
Yeah,
Poor,
she just really is. It's just
bless
like,
her.
oh
I mean,
man. Ugh.
now she's a medical assistant. So she, at the
Mhm.
very minimum, got a high school degree and then went and got this,
Mhm.
like, probably associate's degree.
Certification, yeah.
Yeah, and then a certification to be a medical assistant. So she's not
She's
maybe
not dumb dumb. She's
she's
not
not real
stupid.
dumb.
She just dumb about life.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think she's been dealt some bad cards and had some men treat her terribly, so she thinks this is what she's worth. Yeah.
That's what it's looking like.
She's got
Yeah.
14 sisters that should be slapping her around and slapping some sense into her, you know?
And they're not. I think they're just used to it.
Yeah,
That's just
they
how
are.
she is.
I'd like to know where Joy is on the line of these, like, 7 sisters. Is she the youngest?
You
I
really
wonder.
couldn't tell that
Mhm.
much, but I think but I don't know, she could have like 15 sisters behind her.
Yeah, we
We
don't
don't know.
know because
No.
sisters just keep popping up on top of sisters.
Yes,
So
they do.
so she's in the car with one of her sisters, Shoshana, and that's the one that's got the lip piercing in the middle of the lip,
Mhm.
but it's not a loop,
Right.
it's just like a peg.
Yeah, I spent 15 minutes trying to figure out how the fuck she does that and how does she do that with if she were to wear lipstick. Like, how does she do
Well,
it?
she doesn't wear lipstick for sure because you can't, but it's a
No,
peg, so I guess the other side's on the ins I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. So she's in the car with, Shoshana, and she's like, "I'm so excited because Red's about to be
Mhm.
out." It's been 7 years, we've been talking for 7 years. We've never seen each other in person in
I
7
don't like
years.
that. Mm-mm.
No, but
Mm-mm.
it's never a good sign.
That's
Never a good
no,
sign.
no,
But
no.
he is my everything. We've talked about having a
Mm.
family. He wants to have like 12 kids. And right. So they go meet with the family attorney. His name is Matt. Matt is not
Mhm.
giving us his last name. He doesn't want us to see his building. He does not want to be associated with the show. He wants his sweet, sweet Matt Sharp money, his Amazon gift card, and he wants to get out of there.
Okay, we look. What's his name again? Matt.
Matt. Mhm.
I would love like Matt. Is there
Matt.
any possibility we can meet down here? Because I'm not about to walk up those twirling around stairs. Like I
Yeah.
was out of breath just watching them go up. I'm like, is this? There's no offices down here. Like all I need is a chair and a table, and we can have this meeting. Like that
Right.
was
We did
very
have
odd.
it was an interesting
Yeah,
workspace. Not ADA compliant. So,
not at all.
yeah. So they're talking, and she's like, "So, my boyfriend is getting out of prison. He's been in 7 years, and I've got a son that's 3, and he's not his biological son, but he considers him his son, and so
She
we
was
would."
she was telling him this like she was reading a like second grade book report. His name is Grayland, period. He did period. It was just very odd how it was almost like childlike how she was talking to this attorney.
You're right, she does talk kinda childlike.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she has kind of a high-pitched baby voice like this,
Yes, she
which is
does.
always a sign of something. Look at Britney
Yes, it
Spears.
is.
So,
Mhm.
um, so she says, so he says, "All right, well," she wants to talk about how Red could legally adopt Sway, like, once he's out. And by the way,
Why?
we're so far away from that. I don't know why you're trying to like figure this step out when that's not what you need to be worried about right now.
When you don't even know how this motherfucker's skin feels. You've never touched him. He could have crusty hands. But you want him to adopt your son.
Yeah,
Really?
it's
What?
wild. And also, this has got to be years down the road. It's not even something that's going to happen like 3 days when he's out. It's not.
Well, in
He'll,
her head, I think she can do it. He can do it immediately.
she's like she said, she's living for that fairy tale. It's living for that fairy tale. So,
Mm-mm-mm.
Matt says, "Okay, so do you know who is the biological dad? Because that's good, would have to be your first step. That if you know the biological
Right.
dad, then he would have to give up the rights." And she goes,
And then dum
"Yeah,
dum dum.
I don't know who it is. It could be one of 3 people because I'm not proud of it, but I cheated." And her sister goes, "You only told me about the one."
Right.
And she goes, "Here's the thing. When I started talking to Red, he was only supposed to be in there 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
But then he got in fights and had to stay in for his whole 10-year sentence. And
Okay.
I was lonely and
Mm-hmm.
sad and horny. Not a good
You were.
combination."
I think she needed to circle the horny part with a red marker. That's basically what it was. Because I don't think you were going out dating these people. I
No,
think
no, no,
you
no,
were
no.
just having sex with them
Now,
without
I
a
have
condom.
I have a theory that it is just the one person, but she's
Why?
trying to throw this out red herring like it could be one of 3, like she really doesn't know who it is so that nobody will get DNA tested or anything, because if that one person does know he's got this 3-year-old, maybe
Mhm.
he wants to be involved, and she doesn't want that.
I think it's 3 different guys because this is the same person who says she likes to wake up in the morning to 5 different people saying good morning to her.
Well, that's true.
She likes the attention. And these guys are not taking her out on dates. So let's just
No.
say there's 3 guys.
Okay.
They don't really like her. So they're
Mhm.
probably not answering the phone for her every day. So
Mhm.
she goes on to the next guy and does
Mhm.
what she does. Then old guy probably needs a warm meal, so he calls her up and then
Mhm.
she sleeps with that guy. And then there's the third guy who sends her a good morning text every day.
Mhm.
I think she was humping around.
I think she went to a party and fucked one guy, and she knows exactly
You
who it
do?
is. Mhm. And she's trying to say she slept with tons of people so that nobody feels like they have any ownership over this child. Because I think they're in a small community, so probably her sister goes, "You told me about the one guy." So the sister probably
Yeah.
knows who that one guy is.
Just find it quite disturbing that she will not tell this man that she has this child.
I
But
agree.
she's willing to let this felon, who she hasn't spoken to for 4 weeks because keeps getting put in the hole for violence, she
Right.
wants him
Mhm.
to be Swae's dad.
Right. And she could be
Okay.
collecting child support from this,
No
baby daddy.
shit.
Yeah.
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 I mean, she just spent it all on red, but I mean, at
If
least
she
she wouldn't have
really
to be pawning her grandmother's things.
if she really thinks it's one of 3 people, she should have had a DNA test on all 3. Yeah, she
Mm-mm-mm.
should have.
We may
So,
never know.
we'll never know. So, then she says, then they leave the lawyers. They don't find out much from the lawyer other than, like, basically he can't adopt him until they find out there is a relationship there, and then, of course, they'd have to do welfare checks and all this stuff, right? So, it was a waste of a scene, in my opinion, but they gotta always
It
show
was.
these lawyers.
Yeah.
So, and oh, also the lawyer did say, like, if he adopts your child and then one day
Yeah.
you get divorced, it's just going to be a regular custody situation. So that's something to
And
think about too.
she didn't like that.
She was like, "I mean, nobody ever wants to think about divorce, but I guess you have to think about it." I was like, "Well, you're thinking 2 years ahead when this man's going to adopt this child, and then Oh, whatever. This is a
Y
mess. This is a
they
mess.
y'all ain't gonna be together in 2 years.
It's no, no, no. Maybe not even
No.
2 weeks.
Mm-mm.
So then she explains that once she got pregnant while she was in a relationship with Red, that she did probably overcompensate by giving him a lot of money because she felt so guilty about
Fuck
cheating
him,
on
he's
him.
in prison.
He's in prison, and also he's got lots of sugar mamas, I'm sure.
Yeah, you're just
Yeah,
one of them.
yeah.
Mhm.
So talking heads, Shoshana, the sister, goes, here's the thing. He could just be using her for money
Mhm.
and just like taking that money to get back at her for cheating on him, and he's never going to be
Yeah,
with her. Yeah,
that
which is
sounds like what a prisoner would do to me.
sounds like a pretty good theory.
Yeah,
So now we see we're back at her house, and Swaee is so cute, and he's packing up
he
his
is.
stuff to go to grandparents' house. He's got a little backpack. She said she's never been away from Swaee for any amount of
Mhm.
time, so this is hard, but she wants to be there when Red gets out. That hence the pawning of grandma's ring.
Right.
And she tells Swaee, listen, I'm going to miss you while I'm gone. You're going to have a great time at your grandparents. You could call me anytime. And as they drive up to the parents' house, she's like, Papa's house or Papa's here or something. And I
Yeah.
was concerned she was talking about Red. He was talking about Red, but he was in
Oh,
fact talking about the
no.
grandparents. Yeah,
No, he calls Red dad.
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
So they drive up to the grandparents' house and they drop him off. And she cries, and Shoshana is like comforting her and like, it's okay. Like, I know it's hard. And she's like, I just hope I'm making the right decision. And then she
You're
goes to the
not.
airport. She goes to the airport, and you're making the wrong decision.
Oh, boy. So I wonder, so it seems like they are taking turns between she and Renika. So we're probably not gonna see her next week because Renika's gonna be back.
And also Brittney and Key Rock.
And Brittany and Key Rock. So we're probably gonna have to wait, what, 2 weeks before we get to meet Red.
Yeah, I think probably that's right because I don't see that they're on next week.
Okay. Damn.
So yeah. So all right, we got Melissa and Louie. So they waited until Donna passed out from her 12 Miller Lights. And
Yeah.
once they know she's blackout in the bed in her house coat, they
Yeah.
sneak out. So he's like, "Ooh, my mom's gonna be so pissed," and she's like, "She's gonna treat us like high schoolers. We're gonna act like high schoolers," and they sneak out. So
Yeah.
she says in the car, she's like, "Now, but for real though, are you going to be in trouble?" And he goes, "I no, I don't have to report yet. I don't have to report
Yeah.
for 48 hours. There's no rules." She was like,
Right.
"All right, well, if they haven't given you rules, you're not breaking any rules." And he goes, "Yeah, I think
Yes.
it's fine." So then she says, "Did you pack the condoms?" And
Look, there was so much TMI, Mary Payne, like too much. And I'm all for TMI, but maybe I had a weak stomach last night because I was grossed out a little bit.
yeah, this part wasn't so gross because we see this talk about like, do you
Yeah.
have the condoms and all that? And
Hmm.
he goes,
Hmm.
yeah. And then she goes, but we obviously don't want to have a baby, but he hadn't had sex in 10
Right.
years, so he's going to want to feel it. And
Yeah.
she goes, let me tell you
Which I
something.
can understand that. Yeah.
She goes, so their ages are she's 39, he's 41.
Right.
So she
Uh-huh.
says they don't want to have a baby. I guess that she means ever.
Ever.
And she says, we don't want to have a baby, but let me tell you what, if Donna says I shouldn't have a baby, then of course it's going to make me want to.
She gonna have a
Which
hate baby.
I'm gonna have a baby out of spite. I'll show you.
Exactly.
You
Yep.
think my
Mhm.
eggs are dried up? I'll show you that they're not.
I got a
So
few good ones in there.
that's
So
right. So she says, so he tells us, before he got locked up, he was a player. He had lots of different women and everything. So, he does know what he's missing, right?
mhm.
So as they're walking into the hotel, he goes, they've got free breakfast in the morning. I had to put on my closed captions because I was just watching it without, and then I had to rewind it. I couldn't understand what he said because she was like, come on," and she pulls him through there. He was so excited about the free
I mean,
breakfast.
yeah, I mean, he's used to a free breakfast, but not a free continental breakfast. That's a big step up right there.
Now you get to toast your own bagel, make your
Yeah,
own
that's
waffle,
right.
and that little thing where you can
Mhm.
flip it over. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. Yeah.
So, they go into the room, and as usual, we do not
Mhm.
need to see this, the undressing
Mhm.
of the
Mhm.
straddling of the whole thing. So as usual, she
Mhm.
gets on top of him and says, "Are we gonna use a condom?" And he goes, "No." So the cameras leave. All
And
right.
I couldn't figure out why she kept making a big deal out of using the condom until the next morning. I was like, "Oh, that makes a lot more sense right there. I get it. I get it.
Well, can you get pregnant when you're having your period? I don't think so.
Yeah. No, you can.
You can? I thought
There's
you had to
some women that
wait
can. But I was thinking that she
because I guess
wanted him
2
to
weeks
use
after the
condoms.
period is when your egg drops, and then you can get pregnant. You gotta count those
Uh,
days out.
Look, women, if
Alright,
you're
whatever.
thinking about having a baby, don't listen to anything that either one of us say.
Uh-uh.
But I
Mm-mm.
was like,
Consult a
okay, so
doctor.
she was worried about this is gonna be gross. I'm gonna how do I say it without making it gross?
Okay.
She knew she was on her period, so maybe
Uh-huh.
she wanted him to use the condom so that it wasn't so messy on him.
Messy? Uh-huh, okay.
Yeah, uh-huh.
So, Louis is up in the morning, and he's working out, and the producers are talking to him, and he says it's hard to sleep in such, like, a
Mhm.
soft bed, and, like, to be so comfortable is
Right.
hard, like, I have to get used to it. And so he lays down at the bed to Melissa, and he says he didn't sleep well. He's so used to, like, crackheads in the corner and people screaming all night and doing drugs, and you gotta sleep with one eye open, somebody's gonna shank you in your sleep.
Yeah.
And, so he's like, "No, I didn't sleep well at all." He goes, "I'm used to not sleeping, like, it's been so many years." And she goes, "Well,
Right.
I'm so tired, baby. You just, like, wore me out." And he kinda laughs.
With a full
And
face of makeup on.
right. And
Yeah.
then she says, "I thought it was gone, but then it came back." Now, what
Mm.
did you think she was talking about her period? Because I thought she was talking about his boner.
No, I wasn't sure what the fuck they were talking about
Yeah.
until he explained. I'm like, okay,
I
gotcha.
thought she meant, like, you had a boner, but then you lost it.
I was
That's what I thought she
confused.
meant.
I was really confused.
I'm
Like,
sorry. If my
what is
mother's
going
listening, I
on?
apologize. Yeah, so and I apologize for what's coming next. So she
Yeah.
says, yeah, she was having her period, so she thought it was
Mm,
gone, but she thought she was at the end, but it came back. And then she
mhm.
says, "But having my period while we had sex is the same as losing your virginity to Louis in high school, which I didn't, but I wanted to. Everybody did." Ew,
Oh, no, 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 no,
girl.
no, 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 no,
Ew.
no. We didn't need to know any
Any
of
of it.
that.
Any of it.
None of
Not
it,
one word.
period. Period, point blank. We did not need to know any of that.
Keep that in your heart. Don't say it
Yeah,
out loud. Just the 2
yeah.
of you will have this secret. Like the first night it was gross, we had to put a towel down. To keep it to yourself. That'll be a
Exactly.
little TMI between yourselves.
I mean, and we've heard a lot of shit on these
We
shows,
have. We
but that's
have.
pretty up there with the grossness. That's high up. It really was. Yeah. Mhm.
So, all right. So he looks down at his phone. He goes, "I got 12 missed calls."
Of
So
course.
so his mom is
Oh,
yelling, and
Donna.
she was like, "Where did y'all go?" He's like, "Oh, mom, we went to the hotel." And she goes, "There's a goddamn unmarked car outside. What am I supposed to say?" And he goes, I don't know. I don't know what you want me to say. There's no unmarked
And
car
there's
outside of our
no
house.
unmarked
That's her
car.
neighbor. That's her neighbor. That's her
She
neighbor."
wanted him just to run home. Like, she totally lied about that.
And he goes, "Mom, I have 48 hours to report in. So by my calculations, that means I got till 4 o'clock. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the PO and then I'll talk to you later." And she's like, "What? What if they want to meet your mother?" He goes, "Mom, I am 39 years old, or I am 41 years old. They do not want to meet my mother. They do not want to meet my mother."
He's not going in to meet with the guidance counselor in junior high school when they
Right.
need a parent to attend the meeting, Donna.
I mean, that was funny. "What if they want to meet
It
your mom?" I say that.
yeah.
I do that all the time. Like when John has something in school, I go, "Do I need to go to the office?" He goes, "No, you don't need to go to the office. It's not sixth grade." So
Uh,
I love to go to the office and talk to the office ladies. So
because they're fun and nice.
they're fun and nice, and they always like
Yeah,
me, yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
Make me feel like I'm not such a terrible parent because there's so many
Right.
worse people.
Mhm.
So he goes, "Mom, I'll call you when I'm done with the PO, okay?" So
Yeah.
next thing we know, they're driving to talk to the probation officer, and she goes, "I hope they're going to tell you that you have to be here for 6 months, not a year. Like that'd be really hard." He
Right.
goes, "Yeah, I know." He goes, "But I'm out, so at least we could like see each other." And she
Mhm.
goes, "Yeah, but look, I don't know what you're going to be doing out here in these streets. Like I don't like that." And he goes, "Look, I'm a changed person." And she goes, "Yeah, but I have to worry." Like listen, she's being real. She goes
Yeah.
back to New Jersey. She's a full-time mail carrier, which is a
Yep.
government job. So now, first of all, I'm kind of like, she could move because she could work anywhere. But
But
with
she's
the,
got a
with the,
kid.
no, she doesn't have a kid.
Yeah, I read it on
What?
where did I see it? Yeah, because they're like, why doesn't she mention this? Yes, she's got a daughter,
What?
from what I read. Yeah. But she's not allowed to be on the show or anything like that. So
How old?
What did it say? I want to say I saw 14. Don't quote me
What?
on that. Yeah.
Okay, well, then no wonder she's so like, "It's fine if we don't have kids, because she's
Yeah.
39,
She's
and
got a kid.
normally she'd be like, "This is the love of my life. I'm gonna wanna try to have a
Mhm.
kid pretty quick."
Mhm. Yeah. I saw it
Okay.
on the Reddit. There was a whole sub about it. Yeah.
I gotta get on the Reddit.
Yeah.
I gotta do that tonight.
Yeah.
So excuse my coughing. So she says, like, she does worry, she's got a full-time job. She can't fly there, like, every weekend.
And that bit
So
get expensive too.
yeah, yeah, it's not like it's
Yeah.
close where it's like a 5-hour drive or something.
Right.
So she talks to production in the car and she goes, I just can't fly to Georgia every week to see him. I got a full time
Right.
job. She goes, and of course, I worry he could relapse or hook up with other girls or,
Mhm.
whatever. There's lots of things to worry about.
Yep.
So her sister Allie calls and she's chatting with her. And then we see Donna in her house coat banging on the window of this car with her wooden spoon.
Looking like fucking Mrs. Roper in that fucking moo.
That shit was hilarious.
That was hilarious. I'm like, who does she think she is? My mom? Because my mom loves a wooden spoon. Someone's always getting threatened with the wooden spoon in the house, whether it be a toddler or an animal. Someone's getting threatened with a wooden spoon
That
all the
was
time.
so funny. Now,
It really was.
obviously she did it for dramatic effect
She
because
did.
Donna
And it
Donna
worked.
loves being on TV.
Yeah.
And she's banging on with the wooden spoon. I think that the producers went to her house to pick her up and she was like, "Let me change," because it looks like she's got pants on underneath there.
Uh,
So they go, "Let me change." They go, "No, keep that on. That's perfect." And she was like,
and it
"I
was
should bang on
perfect.
the window. And what should I get? Let me grab a spoon." So it's
It was good. It
it
was
was
good.
good.
It was fake, but it was good. It
It
was
was
very,
fake,
very funny. Yeah.
but it was hilarious. So she goes, Allie, I gotta go. Donna's not gonna. Yeah, I gotta go. So she hangs up, and mom goes, You snuck out last night with no respect to me. And Melissa goes, Can you just get in the truck? This is so
No
embarrassing.
shit. You're yelling
So
in
she
front
gets
of the
in.
probation office.
I know. They've seen some shit in that parking lot.
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
it.
So she gets in the truck, and Melissa goes, So listen, you lived in Jersey and he went to
Mhm,
college in Florida. So you came to Georgia to be closer to him. So if he
mhm.
goes back to Jersey, are you going to follow him there? Follow us there? And she goes, Maybe.
She
So
will.
Louis comes out and opens the door and goes, What the fuck are you doing here? And what the hell are you wearing? So he says, and is talking to Eddie, he goes, This is embarrassing. Like, how does this look
Yeah.
to Melissa? Like, this dude's mom is crazy.
Yes.
so So they stand outside the car and she goes, "So what did the probation officer say?" And he goes, I just got to call her tomorrow to confirm
Mhm,
with her that I'm going to be staying at the hotel for the remainder of the week." And mom's like,
mhm.
"Ugh," mad. And I got to pay $150 and then
Mhm,
I got to pay that's the fine. And then I got to pay $32 a month. And she goes, "For how long?" It's for 10 years. So they're
mhm.
both like, "Wow, okay." I mean, $32 a
That's
month
nothing. He could just pay that off.
is nothing. Is
Yeah.
nothing. So and then he goes, "Now, as far as going to New Jersey," whoosh, they do the Love After Lockup sound, and we have to wait
Yes,
till
they
next week.
do.
So,
Yeah. I think they're gonna let him go.
I do too.
I
I
really,
do too.
especially since they let him stay at the hotel for the week.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
think they're gonna let him go. And
I think
Donna's
he's
going.
I think he's completed all the programs in prison to show that he's rehabilitated.
Okay.
I do. I think that's
Well,
what he's done.
yeah, because remember he wasn't at like a prison when we first met him.
Well, until he had to go back because she went to his job when he was in the halfway house,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, now I had to fast forward through 15 minutes of Kiki's World. But after Kiki's World, we did get next week on, because I thought, well, I don't want to miss it. So I fast forwarded 15 minutes through Kiki's World, of which I'm not going to be watching. I don't know who she is. I
I
don't know
I
about her 11 kids. I don't know
I
anything
may
about it.
have to check it out. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know her music, but she's always in the tabloids for like these marriages and trying to stab a partner. And I like a good stabbing a partner. And then
Oh,
just the
okay.
11 kids, because James is like, who the fuck is that? And I'm
And
like,
how
it's
young is
Kiki.
she? And she's got 11 kids.
She's got a lot of kids.
Is
She's
there
got
at
a
least
lot of
a
kids.
quad or a triplet in there or something?
I
Shit.
don't think there is.
Damn.
No. I know. She's got a healthy fertility. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord said
She's
be fruitful. And
uh-huh.
she was
She's in the
fruitful.
Quiverful movement with the Duggars.
Yes. Yes.
So next week on Love After Lockup, um, Chelsea has on a ring, and they're at lunch with Mikey's sister, and Mikey's sister says, "Is it a promise ring or a proposal?" And
Mhm.
then we don't know the answer. Now, Melissa is doing dance lessons with Louie, who is getting too close to the instructor, and Melissa walks off and says, "Does that instructor have a death wish?" So
Why
this
are
is
they
why
taking dance
dance
classes? Like, is
lessons.
that part of his probation, perhaps? Because
Maybe
nothing
because
else makes sense.
maybe they're planning their wedding and she wants to do like a certain first dance or something, you know?
Can we get him out of the state first before we start planning the first dance?
And I think that at some point it's either him or Mikey, but I don't think Mikey could afford it. So I think it's him that's getting some teeth work done. We saw that in a
Yeah.
preview.
Uh-huh.
So I think
Uh-huh.
definitely he's got to New Jersey.
Okay.
So and then we see Brittany and Key Rock, and she says, "Things have changed and life is different now." And he says, "What do you mean about that?" So that was nothing.
Yeah.
And then we're in someone's kitchen. It looks like probably Andy's kitchen. And Brittany and Andy
Yes.
says, "You lied. Where's the money?" And he turns around and goes, "Hey, camera, can you give me a minute? Give me a minute, camera," and puts his hands in front of the camera. And so Brittany is just, she's 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 bad news. That Brittany.
I think so too.
Don't let
I
that sweet,
really,
sweet
really
smiling with all your teeth fool you.
no. She's something about her spirit disturbs my spirit.
I could agree
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
She's
And that's it.
Andy's in danger. I'm scared for Andy.
I'm a little scared for him too because it doesn't look like he could run very fast to get away from her.
Kid, kid,
I'm
why are
sorry.
you why are you
I'm
tempting me to
sorry.
say something
I'm
bad?
sorry. That was rude. That was very rude. We're at the end. I'm tired. That was rude. I'm sorry. I'm
But yet
sorry.
it was true. Very true. He
Yeah.
can't. Mm-mm. No, 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 no,
He's gonna have to call Barry or somebody over, get some young blood in there to help him. Oh my God. Well, the best part about their story is all the kids like FaceTiming about how stupid dad is.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Oh God. All right, Brittany. All right. Well, that's it. Everybody make sure you follow the Libra Lounge with Keisha on Instagram to find out everything that's going on. And I'm
We
going to
got a
be
new
going
show
over.
out.
You do. And
Yes.
I did see that you posted about the new show and you with the Kim and the Croy. Now that
Oh, there's
I
lots of Kim and
heard,
Croy.
yeah, I heard that. I think you posted it. The 911 call where she's like, "He took both of
Yeah.
my phones. It's been a whole hour. It's been a whole
Yes.
hour. I haven't had my two phones."
Yeah. I'm like, 911 needs to start charging them for calling the emergency line for bullshit. I'm like,
It's
call your attorney.
it's every day.
It's
It's
weekly.
and she's like, and we have a home phone, and I'm on that one now. I don't even know the phone number, but I need to get
Yeah.
out of here because I'm scared to be here with him.
Then leave.
Then leave. Go. You've got lots of friends, but she's got those
Yeah.
four little kids.
I know. But
Got four little kids at the house.
I don't think Kim wants those kids.
Well, if she
I
thinks he's not so great, then maybe she don't want to leave him with him. But I
no,
think that it seems like
I
maybe
don't.
he's the better parent. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we most definitely talk about that. Talk about these divorces going on. Kim K on American Horror Story,
Mm.
and then the
Hmm.
rest is a whole bunch of shit talking.
Okay. Well, that's what we
Yeah,
live for. Also, not for
yeah.
the children. Libra Lounge with
Oh
Keisha is not for the
no,
children.
and not for work, not for the highly sensitive, because you're gonna be offended like soon as my mouth opens. So yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
I was on two podcasts last week. I was on Bad TV. My friends Dylan and Pat, they had me on their Patreon to talk about Love is Blind, episode 8, which was a really good one. And
Hmm.
then I was on Mandy Slutzer's podcast, Is This Real Life, with Mandy Slutzer, my buddy. She's a DC friend that lives here. Mandy's real interesting. She's an epidemiologist, which means she studies epidemics. So she was a
Oh,
real good friend to know during COVID.
I bet she had all
She's
the information.
She does have literally all the information. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
Hmm.
she's great. She's going to be at BravoCon. Okay, so that's it. Everybody follow Keisha, follow us at Pink Shade Pod, putting up some hilarious reels. I've been doing them all by myself because my
You
social
go,
media
girl.
girl has been out of town. But thank the Lord, amen, she's back. She's back.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Thank you, Caitlin. Welcome back to the United States. I'm glad you're getting back to work because it was rough out here for Mama trying to do 2 hours for a 1 minute TikTok. Okay,
That's a
okay.
lot.
So it'd be like Keisha when James goes out of town.
Oh God, I know. And what am I gonna do? don't
What are you
know.
gonna do? I'll be
Figure it
here for
out.
you. You gotta get your daughter to help you. You gotta get the youngins to help you.
I gotta get somebody because I need help. All the help I can get. Yes.
All right, everybody, follow us, and I will talk to you next week, Keisha.
Bye.
Bye. Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.